Today's video is brought to you by Upstart. Hey brother! Ben, as usual, I've been thinking a lot about Avatar the Last Airbender recently and have found myself dwelling endlessly on a question presented in season 3. The episode in question is The Painted Lady, and it presents a very intriguing mystery, which is, who is the Painted Lady? I kid you not, Ben, it has become like the Emma Jean of the Avatar world for me. And I know what you're thinking. Jay, hold on to your butt because I'm about to blow your mind. If you had just finished that episode, you know that it's Katara just dressing up as the Painted Lady. What? But no, that's not what I'm trying to figure out. What I'm trying to figure out is who was the Painted Lady, like before she became all spirity and painted and stuff. Like, who is beneath the paint? And you know what? I think I have figured it out. Guys, before we dive on into today's video, we need to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Upstart. As always, financial responsibility is a big deal, and we encourage you to do your own personal research to make sure you make the decision that's right for you. It's no question that we are presently living in rather uncertain times, and if you feel like you're drowning in high interest credit card debt or just a little extra financial security might go a long way, then Upstart might be for you. Upstart is the revolutionary lending platform that goes beyond the traditional credit score to try and give you the best possible rate. They take things like your job history or your education into account when trying to make sure they're keeping your interest payments lower. The entire application takes place online, it is fast and simple, and you get your new rate within just minutes, and because it's just a soft pull, it doesn't actually even affect your credit score. The hard pull doesn't happen until you decide to move forward with that rate and the application process. See why Upstart has a 4.9 out of 5 on Trustpilot, and hurry over to upstart.com/SCB to find out how low your rate can be. Checking your rate only takes a few minutes. Again, that is upstart.com/SCB. Link is in the description down below. Okay, so in case you need a quick refresher, the Painted Lady makes her first and only appearance in season 3 during the episode The Painted Lady. Little on the nose, but whatever. Historically, I have not always loved this episode that much because it's one of the few filler episodes to just infiltrate its way this deep into the show. Like, you could probably just skip it and not really miss anything. Like, even in the episode, Sokka is just determined for the group to just skip this little adventure and move on with his master plan.
Look, we only have a few weeks to get to the Fire Lord in time for the invasion and the eclipse, which, by the way, only lasts for 8 minutes. And we just lost a whole day.
Which, fun fact, is actually the production schedule for the show itself, which the team was also frequently behind on. But I have to say, it's rapidly climbing the ranks of my favorite episodes because it's just so pure. There aren't even any subplots. It's just the core 4 going on a little mission, doing some good in the world. Anyway, in this episode, Aang and friends find themselves floating down a polluted river with no way of really catching more food. So they stop at the small river town of Jianghui, where the selection of food to purchase is not that great.
Would you like the one-headed fish or the two-headed fish?
Two-headed. You get more for your money that way.
The town is doing really poorly because the Fire Nation built a factory upstream and it has begun polluting the river. And while Sokka insists the group just eat and move on, Katara wants to stay and help. So she feeds Appa a bunch of very purple berries which dye his tongue, which makes him look poisoned, so they can't fly, so they stay in camp a few nights.
But Appa's okay, right?
Appa is okay. During the time they are camping out though, Katara is sneaking out at night disguised as the town's spiritual guardian, the Painted Lady, and using her bending to heal sick kids and deliver food. However, she quickly realizes that this is only a short-term solution, so instead, her and Aang destroy the entire factory and clean up the entire river in like a day. And I have to say, even when you can magically bend all the elements, this is the part that feels implausible to me. But whatever, not important. Throughout the episode, it is hard to tell how seriously you should take the townspeople because they seem pretty superstitious, and it seems super obvious that Katara is the one posing as the Painted Lady, but they insist that she has been their guardian for a long time. And then after it's revealed it was Katara, you think, yeah, see, they didn't know what they've been talking about. They clearly been eating too many polluted two-headed fish. Until, that is, after the river is finally completely cleaned up, and later that night, the actual spirit of the Painted Lady presents herself to Katara to thank her for cleaning the river.
Thank you.
Leaving us all to wonder, who was the painted lady. And guys, I was so positive the first time I saw this that I knew her true identity, that it had to be Princess Yue. I mean, the painted lady is described as a water spirit. Princess Yue is the moon spirit. The moon spirit and the ocean spirit live together in the spirit oasis. One spirit is white, one spirit is black. Yue's hair is white, the painted lady's hair is black. Both are known to affect the water. They both have the white flowing robes, and the moon itself is very present in this particular episode. Like, okay, check this out. Right here, you can see the reflection of the moon in the water is a crescent moon, but then just later that exact same night, boom, full moon. It is almost as if after being driven away by the pollution, the moon, Yue, has noticed somebody posing as herself and has turned around to get a closer look. Heck, even the symbol painted on the painted lady's forehead is a crescent moon. Yue, being the painted lady, even explained why she was painting her face, which would be to conceal her identity so the whole world wouldn't realize the moon spirit is helping out this one tiny town. I mean, you gotta keep that secret. Once word gets out, everybody's gonna be wanting moon solutions to their problems. Blimey, Harry. It all seemed to fit together very nicely, except that apparently in the newly released Shadow of Kyoshi novel, the painted lady is briefly mentioned as to have lived prior to the 3rd century BG. BG is before genocide of the Air Nation in Avatar speak. And since we know Yue died only like 1 month before the airing of this episode, pretty much definitely rules her out. So it was back to the drawing board. The only real other hint I had to go on was that she was indeed once human before becoming a spirit. That is revealed in some director's commentary during one of the episodes for Legend of Korra. It was also in my favor that there's not really a ton of notable characters in the designated time range of just before 300 BG. So that's where I narrowed in on, between 300 and 400 BG. I understand it could have been infinitely any point in the past, but otherwise they would have said before 400 BG, right? I actually don't know. I haven't read the novel, so I'm not sure the context under which she's mentioned, but that was my reasoning, and honestly, it paid off. Allow me to introduce you to the true identity of the painted lady, a woman named Umi. What? Wait, who? What? You don't know Umi? I'd be surprised if you did. Okay, so we don't actually get to learn her name in the show, but her face, and specifically just her face, appears twice throughout Avatar the Last Airbender. And it is just her face because her face was stolen by Ko, the face stealer. Okay, so when Aang first meets Ko, we learn that Ko does not like the Avatar very much. This is because in one of the Avatar's past lives, he tried to kill Ko because Ko stole the face of the woman he loved. And that woman is Umi, and the Avatar in question is Avatar Kuruk, the guy with the bear on his head who was the water avatar before Korra. And let me just say, the circumstances surrounding her abduction and subsequent death, matched with the powers and appearance of the painted lady, line up really nicely. So here's what happened to Umi. She and Avatar Kuruk met at the New Moon Festival and fell immediately in love, and he presented her with a betrothal necklace. Oh, that's so sweet. They were to be wed at the Spirit Oasis, but literally during the ceremony, as she's walking down the aisle, Ko pulls her through the Spirit Oasis into the spirit world and steals her face. Which, like, rude. The reason he does this is to punish Kuruk for some of his other arrogant misdeeds that he has done as the Avatar, but that's a whole different story. Don't worry about that. This theory is that after she was pulled through the Spirit Oasis, had her face stolen, and died, that she came back as the painted lady. And if that sounds confusing, don't worry, let's connect some dots. First of all, similar to Yue, this fills the requirement that she was first human and then became a spirit. Check. Kuruk actually holds the record for shortest lifespan of an avatar ever at just 33 years, meaning he died in 345 BG, so Umi would have died during the correct time frame to qualify to be the painted lady. Bigger check! Actually, fun fact, not to one-up him or anything, but Kuruk was succeeded by Kyoshi, who then recorded the longest ever lifespan for an avatar. Anyway, the Painted Lady is a water spirit who has healing powers. Umi was literally pulled into the spirit world through the spirit oasis, a pool of healing water that contains the actual spirit of the ocean. That's the black koi fish, La. The white koi fish, Tui, is the moon spirit. That's the one Yue is associated with, and the reason her hair is white. Which, speaking of, the Painted Lady has black hair, suggesting that Umi could have been saved in a very similar fashion as Yue was, except by La instead of Tui. Further reinforcing that idea is Umi's name. Okay, so Yue means moon, and predictably, she became the moon spirit. Well, Umi, U-M-M-I, is just a modified version of the word Umi, U-M-I, which translates from Japanese to mean sea. Sea as in the ocean, like a body of water, not sight. But do you see, sight this time, what I am getting at, that Yue and Umi have a very similar situation going on, just with different fish? But don't worry, it gets better. Do you remember that betrothal necklace that Kuruk gave to Umi? Well, the betrothal necklaces come in many shapes and sizes, but I was super hoping that Umi's was going to have that crescent moon symbol that's painted on the Painted Lady's head to be like the dead ringer that tied these characters together. But upon further inspection, it turns out that Umi's betrothal necklace is actually a lot more like the one Katara is wearing through most of the show, so I thought that was a dead end until I realized that somebody else actually has that crescent moon shape on the necklace they're wearing. And do you know who it is? Avatar Kuruk. Look, it's right there. Plus, if Umi is associated with La the same way that Yue is associated with Tui, then it could also explain why the moon turns around and becomes full that night. Because Yue notices Katara posing as her other half, who she otherwise believes to have been driven away from the town by the pollution. So she turns around to investigate. Full moon. Oh, but wait, I hear you saying, if Ko stole her face, then how does the Painted Lady have a face? Well, for one, this theory is suggesting that she was saved by La, which possibly could have given her a new face, but also, couldn't this be the reason the Painted Lady is painting her face? The reason she is the Painted Lady? And just for fun, I went ahead and laid Umi's face over top of the face of the Painted Lady, and I have to say, it is a pretty freaking good match, you guys. Pretty good match. And there you go, guys. The true identity of the Painted Lady is Umi, the dead fiance of Avatar Kuruk. It's crazy how it always comes back to the Avatar. It's like, that's what the whole show is about.
I've noticed that.
You've noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only a few episodes in, too.
But Ben, my question for you and everyone else is, what do you guys think? Is Umi indeed the true identity of the Painted Lady? Let me know your thoughts in the towel section down below. Thanks as always for watching today's video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like on it if you haven't already, and subscribe so you don't miss any future Avatar action from us. If you want to see why the Fire Nation killed Katara's mother, you can check out this video right here. But Ben, until next time, I will see you in another life.